Red Bull Racing's dominance has seemed to come to an end here coming into this weekend in the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal after having some recent struggles in past episodes. And here in Canada, 3 Canadians set to make their home start this weekend with Nicholas Latifi, Lance Stroll, and Haas rookie Gary Owen. Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our F1 22 Driver Career Mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, it is my home Grand Prix, a very exciting one of my favorite circuits on the calendar. Not my favorite, but a top 5 for sure. We are here at Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, ready for some Montreal racing here, as I am very excited. It's a home Grand Prix, but you know, it's still quite a lengthy distance away. It's about, I think, a 6.5, 7-hour drive for me to actually get to this circuit. So I'm hoping to go here one day. Hopefully in the next few years, we'll have to wait and see. But obviously here, focusing on the on-track free practice 1 session here on Friday afternoon. Very excited to get on track here with my fish helmet now. But yeah, I mean, overall the pace was pretty good. It's been very interesting over the beginning sections of this season. It's kind of been back and forth where our Haas car, you know, we make some big R&D upgrades and we advance towards the, very top nearly of the midfield, and then the next episode will be right back into like the bottom 3, so it kind of goes back and forth, and we have some more big upgrades on the way here, hopefully in the next episode. I feel like I'm saying that every single episode at this point, but we are upgrading as quick as we can. This Haas team's doing a good job with that, but unfortunately in today's episode, we're back in the bottom 3 kind of area, bottom 3, bottom 4, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle here. But you can see the free practice 1 results. Myself on the medium compound tire, never did make a lap on the softs, but overall was relatively happy with the pace that we had in this car. Canada, very straightforward track, not very complicated, but always a great track for racing. It has been a calm season so far, but I have a feeling things might be about to kick off here today in Montreal here. We have not seen a single safety car this season, and we have, I don't think seen a single actual accident, so it's been a bit wild in terms of how calm it has been, and of course we are now finally seeing the flaws of Red Bull start to come out, so there's things happening here coming into this episode, kind of building up in my opinion now as we come through into qualifying, and my first lap was P8 or something like that. We dropped down to P11 and made a lap a little bit later on in the session, P10 as Schumacher, P9, as we had only found about 0.2 of a second though on this final lap and actually lose a full 10th in the final chicane. We're gonna come through to cross the line and hit P8. Usually that would be enough. It wasn't. Schumacher goes P12. We are out by almost 1/10 of a second, about half a tenth. P16, we have been eliminated in our home Grand Prix, all Canadians out in Q1, and that was certainly one that got away. We should have advanced. We didn't. We choked. P16 from the grid. Let's head to the grid.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at this fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than 1/10 of a second. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Norris, Ricciardo, Ocon, and Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda, Albon, Guan Yu Zhou, Golden Boy, Gasly, Vettel, Lance Stroll, and Fernando Alonso. Latifi and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So, we got some work to do. We do move up to P14 with those grid penalties. It is going to be the usual medium to hard compound tire strategy. Some drivers up front are actually doing the hard to mediums. We'll see how it works out. Let's head to this formation lap.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. Back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out. Let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
Alright everybody, sorry about the qualifying effort. Home Grand Prix weekend, let's make it count. Let's hopefully go up there and get some points. You hear myself to the team on the radio here as we are ready to go. Lights out here at Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve now. As you can see, Schumacher there about 3 rows in front of us at the back. You got one of the Alfa Romeos and Williams and Alpine, as well as a Aston Martin, which is no surprise there. They have been struggling so much this season, but nonetheless, we'll see what Bottas can do from the back of the grid as it's going to be 5 red lights, and it's lights out. We are underway here on the Canadian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen leads away for Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Perez, Russell, and Hamilton now as they head down into turn 1. In the background, you saw Hamilton, it looked like, sent a big lunge up the inside of the Ferrari right there. He's trying to get the elbows out ASAP and get going past Carlos Sainz, and sure enough, the pass is complete there as we head through the first chicane. Very fun circuit to drive here, and this chicane right there that we go through just seconds ago, a very, very just challenging chicane, especially it's kind of a blind corner, and it's so hard to get your braking zone right going into the right-hander before you, of course, go into the left-hander with the grass right on that left side that you got to be careful of as well with the track limits. You know, Canada, this circuit, very, very difficult with track limits at times, especially on this strict setting that I run. As you can see, though, here it goes. Sergio Perez wheel to wheel with Charles Leclerc down into the hairpin. They're going at it right away. Leclerc a little bit wide on the apex right there. Nearly some contact with Perez. They're going to go side by side here down the straightaway. Who's going to have the better straight line speed? We're about to see. Ferrari has made a bit of an upgrade coming into this weekend. So you can see, though, Red Bull at the end of the day is still the faster car, but they kind of even out here into the chicane. They're still side by side. Perez completely abuses the track limits. He comes back on track, and Hamilton, through goes Hamilton here with the 2 same drivers that he fought with in real life in 2022 in the Silverstone circuit. Unbelievable stuff right there now as we had come through ourselves at the end of this first lap to be making a move up the inside of Pierre Gasly now in the AlphaTauri, and here we are up back into P14 at the conclusion of this first lap. Now, some work to do to go run down Alex Albon, and it wouldn't actually be too much work. I would run him down by the end of lap 2. Going to lap 3, we're going to go wheel to wheel. He is on the hard compound tire, so he's going to go quite a bit longer than us here in terms of the strategy, but we are wheel to wheel through turn 1, through turn 2, easy clear, and up another position into P13. Now, I know we didn't have the pace in qualifying. We made some mistakes, didn't quite work out. However, we got good pace in this car, and I was proving that we were now running down fellow rookie here of Zhou Guanyu in the Alfa Romeo, and that gap was coming down quite significantly and quite quickly here. By the time we come through to lap 6, approaching lap 7, DRS wide open. We got to run on the back of Zhou. We're going to lunge one up the inside, nearly Danny Rick style, ascend it into turn 1. We're still wheel to wheel here through turn 2, and we're going to now continue side by side fighting here down towards the chicane. Which one's going to back out first? It's going to be me. Zhou overshoots the corner. I cross him over, a little bit of a switchback right there, and we pass him here on the exit, and up into P12 we go. And now just one car separates myself and my teammate that we have been focused on so far early on in the season. A mixed Schumacher here. Battles continue up in the top 10. This is George Russell passing Carlos Sainz up the inside of Lando Norris. Runs directly into the side of him. Carlos Sainz with a bit of a rough start to this Grand Prix. Down in P7. And I'm not going to lie, I love Carlos Sainz, but I wouldn't mind if he had a rough season because that gives me a better chance to be in a Ferrari next season myself. Perez pits early on lap 12. Not sure what for. He was on the hard compound tire and he made an early pit stop, and you saw no front wing being changed there. So a bit confusing there. Yellow flags. Mick Schumacher's out of the Grand Grand Prix. His engine has failed. That's his first mechanical failure of the season. No safety car there, but that gives us extra position to work with here as we close in now on the back of Yuki Tsunoda here in that AlphaTauri. We passed his teammate up Pierre Gasly a little bit earlier. Now up to the back of him here, going into the hairpin. I overshoot the corner a little bit, and so does he. Apparently, he locks up right in front of us. I slide right into the back of him. We damage the right side of the front wing, so we had to pit a lap earlier than schedule here. Come in to put on the hard compound tire, and of course, replace the front wing. It is far too damaged to be able to actually carry on with the condition that it is in. So we come in to replace that front wing, and that's going to cost us obviously a handful of seconds here. And as these laps are going on, things are starting to build and kick off. Like I said, it could very well do here today in Canada, and it's just a matter of time, I think, until something really goes down. You see Ricciardo with a 5-second time penalty. He actually got that for crossing the pit line, so he's looking for a safety car of some sort now. As you can see myself here a little bit later on lap 17, after things were starting to settle out, a lot of pit stops still needed to be done. Hello Fernando Alonso, Zhou Guanyu, though they were battling side by side, and now we are 3 wide with the both of them here down into the hairpin. None of us are going to lift on this one. I'm still 3 wide on the outside, but I end up getting the short end of the stick of it here on the exit of the hairpin. We fall in line behind them, and now we have Pierre Gasly into the mix as well here. So 2 drivers that I was already ahead of right in front of us that we got to battle with all over again. To the left side of Zhou Guanyu, 3 wide with him and Gasly. Now Gasly sends it into the chicane, runs me completely off the circuit. I get an illegal overtake. I don't know if I agree with that one, but nonetheless, we still have to give the position back. He ran me completely off the circuit. I don't understand what that's about. Not very happy on the radio with that one, but I'm going to give it right back to Gasly. Here's a move into the next chicane, and we gave him no room to work with whatsoever. You know, just racing the guy like he raced me, basically. Here, as you can see, Max Verstappen, lap 20, he's into the pits, putting on that medium compound tire, because he started on the hards, and so was Leclerc. And now you can see Lewis Hamilton, he was on the mediums to start, now on the hards. He is going to be actually in front of Max Verstappen briefly. Carlos Sainz leads, but he is yet to come into the pits now as we would run down. Next up, Nicholas Latifi. Fernando Alonso had just gotten past him moments before. I'm looking to get as quickly as I can past my fellow Canadian, wheel to wheel through the right-hander contact, and a huge incident there. Latifi's into the barrier and out of the race, and the safety car for the first time this season is going to be out after 2 Canadians collide in Canada. You see the replay of violent impact there for Nicholas Latifi, and it was very close, but you can see it looks like I just simply ran Nicholas out of space, out of real estate. Like, you see him turn left briefly, but yeah, it looks like I didn't leave him even a full car to work with, so that was on me, making a misjudgment as a rookie here behind the wheel of the Haas, and unfortunate there. Safety car out for the first time this season. Hamilton out front over Max Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Lando Norris with a top 5 run going for him right now. As you see, Carlos Sainz P6, Perez P7, so Ferrari teammates to Leclerc, and then the Red Bull teammate to Max Verstappen, both having a rough day here so far in Canada as we're back underway. Once again, green flag racing. Lewis Hamilton out in front, but he's on the hard compound tire compared to the 2 behind him that are on mediums. It's going to be very difficult for Hamilton to hold on and get the victory here today, as I was trying to fight with Fernando Alonso. Didn't quite work out, couldn't get the power down there, so we settle back in behind him. Now, though, running in P12, a very solid running position compared to, you know, where we qualified and whatnot, but here we are, making a move on Fernando Alonso down towards turn 1 on lap 25, and here we are, we're going to take the position, it looks like, give him the space that he needs, of course, and that he is well deserving of, but we get the position anyways, up into P11 behind Lance Stroll, and we would continue riding behind Stroll here now towards the hairpin here, but you can see some battles happening in front of us there with Lando Norris as well. You got Stroll now going up the inside of Yuki Tsunoda, and he's going to go up the inside of Ocon as well. I was a little bit hesitant to make a late lunge right there at the inside of Tsunoda, so I just kind of stayed put where I was, because here we are into the next chicane. They're still side by side. I am able to pass 2 of them in one go, a 2-for-1 special, but hold on, we're going to go for a third. Let's go to the right side of Esteban Ocon. DRS enabled here down into turn 1, 10 laps to go. Close quarters racing right there with Ocon, but we get the position up at a P8. We are just capitalizing on other drivers racing each other way too hard. hard and aggressive, making mistakes. And speaking of aggressive racing, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, they are wheel to wheel down into the chicane. Charles Leclerc loves what he sees, and he loves what he sees so much that it looks like he is interested in getting involved with it here. Now he's going to go 3 wide here, down for the lead and towards the hairpin. This is the race we've been waiting for all season long. Verstappen in the middle, Leclerc on the outside, Hamilton on the inside. Who gets the short end of the stick on the hard compound tire? And here we have now Leclerc, Verstappen, NHRA style drag racing down the long back straightaway towards the final chicane. Who's going to come out on top of this battle here? Hamilton could actually be in perfect position. Leclerc to the lead. He overshoots the corner, locks up, comes back on track, saves it in a huge crash. Just behind, it's Carlos Sainz, who's out of the Grand Prix here in Canada. Unbelievable scenes in the Canadian Grand Prix. No safety cars all season. 2 today. It was an overreaction from Sainz, and he just simply took himself out of the race. So we would catch the safety car as quick as we could, but what happened was, just as quick as we caught the safety car, they actually immediately were sending us back to the green flag racing. So we were already back underway here on lap 29, coming to 30. A bit of oversteer for myself out of the chicane right there, but Max Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, your top 3. Things looking very good for Verstappen. I don't think anybody's going to be able to beat him now, as I was once again right in the thick of a bunch of scraps happening. Hamilton struggling right now in P3. He's got Perez to the left, and now Russell and Norris side by side. Here's into the hairpin. Both cars in front of us lock up. Everybody's locking up. I run into the back of Russell. No damage for me, but Russell and Norris both have front wing damage. They need to pit at the end of this lap, so we're going to move up into P5, I think it is at this point here. Russell, Norris into the pits. Yes, we're into P5 all of a sudden here in our home race in the Canadian Grand Prix. Unbelievable scenes, and now it was about holding on, because obviously I had nothing for Hamilton and Perez. So now just trying to defend over Esteban Ocon in the Alpine and make it to the end of this Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, he was in cruise control heading towards victory. It had opened up a 3+ second gap already over Leclerc on this final lap of the Grand Prix. And you know, it's an up and down weekend for us. We missed Q2, and here we are running P5. We of course got wing damage with contact with Yuki Tsunoda earlier in the Grand Prix. We had an incident with Latifi. Fortunately, we got out of it without issue. Unfortunately, Latifi did not. But here we are now down this back straightaway for the final time. A bit of a wide hairpin, and that is over the door for Esteban Ocon. Actually put it into attack mode. I've got overtake on, but he's got that DRS advantage. Verstappen wins in Canada. We're drag racing into the final chicane once again, like Leclerc and Verstappen did earlier, and we give each other enough room, and we manage to come out in front still of Ocon, and we're going to come through for an incredible career best in our rookie season, P5, in our home Grand Prix here in Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. We will absolutely take that. What a day, what a race here in Canada. We're going to head to the podium as well. We win Driver of the Day for the first time in our career.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out of the track was: speed. It sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
What a wild race. It's races like that that really do make me love playing F1 22. You know, when it's a lot of excitement, a lot of chaos, but it's not overboard chaos, you know, and a lot of exciting racing and aggressive racing. And this could be kind of setting the bar for the next little portion of this calendar, of course, now. But at the end of it all, I mean, Max Verstappen's the one that ends up winning. So not what you want to see from a competition standpoint, because like we said, you know, we don't want to see Verstappen running away with a title this season here. As you can see the rest of the finishing order. 2 Canadians inside the top 10. Sebastian Vettel there in P13. 2 DNFs, or 3 DNFs, sorry, with Carlos Sainz, Latifi, and Mick Schumacher. You see now Verstappen's at point lead to 61 points over Perez, Leclerc, Russell, Sainz, and Hamilton there, your top 6. As we actually overtake our teammate of Schumacher, and because of how good of a race we had there with P5. So we're a point ahead of him. Haas up into P7 over Alfa Romeo in the constructors as well. A great day for myself. itself, a great day for Haas, not so good of a day for Schumacher, but that is going to wrap it up for us here today. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. Thank you all for taking the time today for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, everybody.